Hello, friends from the comic book and manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the August 12th, 2024 FOC. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell around the world. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Twitter X, Instagram at PRH International Comics, where you'll find our posts and updates, news and announcements on there. So definitely check us out on those platforms. And I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and get started on our picks. So first up is actually mine, and this is Checkmate Volume 1 by Tan. So this is like our Rivals to Lovers BL webtoon manhwa coming to print for the first time in English. So this is about Suhyun, who has a very mediocre life, but he isn't like that, or he wasn't like that in the past. So as a teen, he had so much passion and like fierce competition, and he had fire in him, mostly because he had a competitor to compete with. So it's all thanks to this other person called Unsung, who was at the top of all things that he did. So like he was so good that Soohyun was consistently second place or like runner up, and that bothered him. So that like instilled the competitive nature. So he's like, since that has passed, time has passed, he kind of lost that fire, especially when high school ended. And everything changes when he's an adult because, he lost that, but then he sees Unsung again. And the exception this time is that Unsung is on the news. He's embroiled in a scandal, and seeing Unsung in that state like brings on this like passion and fire again in all like the wrong reasons. Like he's like, I hate this guy. Like, yeah, he should be in this. Like, people should know, and like I should like encourage it kind of thing. So like determined to see the fallen Unsung fall even further, Soohyung reinvents himself as a reporter and tries to like dish out the dirty drama, like going over through the dirty articles over and over. He's sure that with like every scathing article that comes out, Unsung will eventually come crawling back to Soohyung and beg for mercy. This is what I'm talking about, like hate to love. And turns out Unsung doesn't react that way, and it's the question of who's actually being manipulative at this point. Because you start to think one way, maybe it's the other, and things start happening
As they,
romantically, as you can see on the
as you
cover.
can see, yeah, yeah.
I love the checkmate like metaphor throughout because it's the challenge between the two players essentially. So really fun. Can't wait for it to come out in October.
Yeah. And we continue with my first cover pick. This is The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, number 12. This is cover B by Flavia Biondi. This is obviously the amazing series by James Tynion and Tape Brumbaugh. And I love this cover because it's such a, it's such a cool close up with beautiful colors, and it shows Christopher, and it has shows Peggy the pigeon on his shoulder as always, and they're just yeah, they're just gonna go out there and keep using his powers, which he shouldn't be doing so much, but he still does. If you haven't read that, this is a very cool, amazing story. And we're all up to issue 12, and this cover is just beautiful. Flavia should mention the cover artist. It's an Italian artist, and if that name sounds familiar to you, because she has done a lot of work, but I will mention specifically, she's done some work for Burger Burger Books. Ruby Falls in specific, which was her first American work, and Shifting Earth. And also, she did some work, both cover and interiors, for another of James Tynion books, Blue Book, 1947. So that's it. There you go.
Next up, we have a Masher, issue number 1. This is the cover A. I need to make sure I get that right.
Yeah.
And then the cover art is by Alex Andreas. I just love how we have like very different characters on the cover. Like
Yeah.
characters you won't think have any relation to each other because they're just so diverse. But this is set in the 1930s. We have an aspiring actor, Tony Hollywood, of course, that's his name. And he's about to make the big break. So he finally got this audition for a role that will basically change his life. But a flat tire sends him to a different stage. And the car breakdown just happens to be located outside a wrestling arena that lands him a new role and acting part to play. The Masked Masher is his name, and he plays it, even though no one knows who the Masked Masher is. So it's
Yeah.
a hilarious story from David A. Goodman's 4-issue series. It's really meant to like portray it's a comedic portrayal on how people make it into the show business, which is a really cool, unique premise. Really funny. Can't wait for
Yeah.
this to come out.
I have to say, because I we were talking before we started recording about what does matcher, with MACHER
Oh,
means, and
okay,
you
go,
see it on
yeah.
the subtitle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I just
there's an
noticed the
asterisk.
asterisk. It
Yeah.
says that it's Yiddish for
You
big
get it
shot.
for a big
Now we
shot.
figured it out in the video. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Makes me want to read it even more now. So yes, very cool. And we continue with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Nation #1, Variant B. This is by Vincenzo Federici, the amazing Italian artist. And of course, we're into another spinoff from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, part of the celebration of um, 70 years of Turtles. And in this one, in this story, this is a spin-off right after the events of the Armageddon game. Raphael uh, just decides to hop on a motorcycle and go on the road, and he discovers there's trouble in Area 51, so he stops there. And I love all the covers for this book are amazing. I really like this one. This is my favorite one of all of them. But they all feature also Pepperoni, who you see there right next to Raphael on the motorcycle, is that little four-legged creature, which I didn't know who Pepperoni was. And G, thank you, because G helped me figure out who Pepperoni is. I didn't even know Pepperoni's name. It's a baby Protoceratops that Raphael encountered during the Turtles in Time issue 1. And then when Raphael, the Turtles left Cretaceous period, Pepperoni was left behind. But then in the Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything uh, comic story, uh, Pepperoni came was brought back wearing you see you can't really tell that, but she has a little piece of the a scarf that is part of the Raphael's mask. And so Pepperoni has been here and there, and I'm so glad that Pepperoni is here because I love how Pepperoni looks, and I can't wait to hear the story, read the stories about Raphael and Pepperoni in the desert and in Area 51. And I love this cover. I love, how the art from Vincenzo Federici, who also does the interior illustrations, and I should have mentioned that this is written by Tom Watts. So looking really forward to this one. That's it.
All right. right, next up, Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider issue number 5 is you're probably exhausted. I'm such a huge fan of Rian Gonzalez. It's not the first time I have shown a Rian Gonzalez cover. And we have Gwen and the Mary Janes on the cover here. So I was behind on reading this, and boy, why was I so behind? It's so good. Like, I'm
Yeah,
really
it's
having
really
fun
good.
with this. It's really good. So if you haven't picked it up yet, this is your time to do so. I just loved when ah, never mind. I was gonna go into it, but I don't think we have time for it. But I just wanted to point out how good this is, and you should pick it up. This is a
Yeah,
really cool cover as well. So yes, 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 yes.
excellent. And we continue with Venomverse Reborn number 4, Derek Chu symbiote variant. We continue with you know, the nothing but Venoms storyline of Venomverse Reborn. And in this uh, one of the stories included is what you see in the cover. It's a story by Dan Slott and Stephen Byrne, where they take Nighthawk, which is one of my favorite characters, and he's venomized, and now you see him here on top of a gargoyle. And there's always been comparisons between Nighthawk and Batman, but now Derek Chu was able to take it even a step closer with this look right here. It's rainy and on a gargoyle and buildings behind, and it's very classic, Nighthawk slash a little bit of Batman, and also very classic Derek Chu if you follow his covers. I love Derek Chu, the artist originally from Singapore, who's also part of the group of Arjun and Kanka and all those artists that they tend to travel everywhere together. I love all those guys. But this one in particular, I think it's going to be a fan favorite because it looks so amazing. And yeah, and that's it. Very cool. And I definitely looking forward to this comic too. I want to see what Dan Slott is going to do with Nighthawk with the symbiote.
Mhm. All right, as for our piece of news, we have something coming out of Dark Horse, the original graphic novel by top names Cullen Bunn, Matt Kindt, and Shawn Lee. This was previously out of print for a very long time, so it's coming back to print in this new edition. So this will be in trade paperback, and it will have this brand new cover by Matt Kent, as you'll see here. And so this is basically like, again, it's an original graphic novel. It's pretty much like a love letter to old school pulp horror in like classic comic books or monster movies. I love that there is like a sticker tag of the
Yeah, I
price.
was gonna say like a news book, a used novel or comic with a
Comment,
sticker,
yeah,
with
with the
a
sticker.
handwritten sticker on top of it with the price up,
Yeah,
pricing it
and
up.
yeah, and it looks like a used book
Yeah,
too that you're gonna pick up. So it's really
very
cool.
cool. Very
And
cool.
again, for fans who have been wanting to have this physically again, since it's been hard to pick up, uh, and obviously for new fans to get into, really
Hmm.
huge fan myself of Colin of these creators that you'll see here. So yeah.
Yes.
So that's it for our picks and news for this week. So as always,
Mhm.
Hector and I, we enjoy doing these. Comment down below on what you'll be picking up for, or like what you'll be pulling for this FOC. And again, check us out on our other social media platforms, also linked below in the description. So that's it for today. Bye, everyone.
Bye.